The best things in Destiny 2 are the raids. The second best things in Destiny 2 are going to be secret exotic missions, and there are currently 7 of them that have been released within the lifespan of Destiny 2, and in this video, we're going to be ranking all of them, and let's get into it. The 7th one is going to be Harbinger. This is not bad, but it is a little underwhelming when presented against the backdrop of all of the other exotic secret missions within the history of Destiny. I think a lot of people would probably expect me to put Vox Obscura here, but I'm not really counting that as a secret exotic mission because they kind of just like said go do it, and then you just clicked on it and went and did it. But Harbinger was a secret. It was hidden within the Trossland in the EDZ. The mission itself, pretty cool. It wasn't anything super unique that we hadn't seen before. We had been all throughout the EDZ. It's the oldest destination in all of Destiny 2. And, you know, you're just kind of running around and killing things. The boss isn't really that unique. The sub-boss isn't really that unique. None of the encounters are really that unique. You're just kind of running around and doing normal strike patrol stuff. So I didn't want to rank it too high. And then the Hawkmoon, pretty good. Random rolls were a cool little addition, but not many people really use it. The game's pretty dominated by hand cannons, and Hawkmoon isn't really one of them, at least on PC. So I'm going to keep that one at number 7. Hey, here's another fun fact. A lot of you guys aren't subscribed, and we're trying to get to 100,000 subscribers. So if you want to see more ranking videos or just, you know, different types of things covering the end game of Destiny, consider subscribing for more content. Number 6, we have a mission that I'm sure almost every one of you guys forgot about, and that is going to be the Otherside mission from Season of Opulence. This is the mission that gave you bad juju. So in order to access it, you had to get a certain number of tributes in the tribute hall. You had to build like a ton of statues and things. It would open up a secret portal. You could go in, and then you essentially were doing kind of a Ascendant Realm walk through of the Leviathan raid. You got to go to a lot of different arenas. You got to fight a bunch of different mini bosses and stuff. It was a pretty cool little mission. It looked really awesome. But once again, there wasn't anything super special or flashy about like the boss or any like really cool mechanics or anything like that. It was just an awesome, unexpected visual kind of trip that we were taking. And then how the final reward, the bad juju, was kind of presented was really cool. You're throughout the mission sort of feeding it souls, and then it grows as a gun, and then, you know, you're able to use it, and it's not a bad gun. In the current meta, it's not the, you know, it doesn't really have the best of places, but it's a pretty fun gun to use, and when it came out, it was pretty powerful. So number 6. Number 5, from here on out, they're all like pretty much perfect, and I think you could switch most of these in any order, and I would be like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I get why you see that. So my personal number 5 is going to be 0 Hour. I absolutely love this mission. Returning to the old tower, the way it was discovered, there was kind of a build-up secret quest that brought you into the secret mission. It was really cool. Making your way through the tower was a lot of fun, in and around the walls, and there's all sorts of parkour. Who can forget Trevor? That is one of the most iconic boss, villain, enemy things, I don't know, in the history of Destiny. Just a lot of fun. I think things that I count off for, it was very tough, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but especially like the boss room. At the time that this came out, there were limited ways to generate like heavy ammo, and so you'd get into a lot of situations where you're just kind of spamming primaries or waiting for your super, and so it was just kind of like very bullet spongy. Some of the enemies didn't even count as like traditional enemies, so like grenades would just bounce off of them and stuff. Like the turrets, I remember that being a pain point. It was hard to lock onto them with supers and stuff. Very awesome mission. The secret ship, the scrap ship, was really fun. I really love those little puzzles like that. I would just say overall a little too bullet spongy, and that definitely, I think, hurt the replayability from week to week. But overall, a fantastic mission, and I hope it returns to the game someday. Number 4, we have Presage, or Presage, however you want to say it. This is pretty much all about the vibes. I absolutely love the feel of the Presage mission. You're going through this abandoned ship. It's very inspired by things like Event Horizon, which is a fantastic movie. So as you're walking along this like derelict abandoned ship, and there's just things like jump scaring you, and you know, all of the egregore is just all creepy looking. The vibes are immaculate in this mission. It was very well put together. I love the trash compactor thing. The final boss was a lot of fun. very unique for a Destiny boss in terms of, you know, the type of arena that you're forced to fight in and how you access DPS and how you have to run around. It was incredibly unique. It was pretty dangerous. You know, you could die pretty easily. And overall, it's just a fantastic mission. And the DMT was a menace, and then it was nerfed, and it wasn't, and then it was, and now it's kind of like sort of very good, but not a lot of people use it right now. So, I mean, DMT's been very consistently pretty freaking good. So I'm definitely going to keep Presage at number 4 because I think it has the replayability factor. It's not too long, it's not too difficult, not too bullet spongy, and the rewards are pretty good. And it was just a fun mission all around. For number 3, we're going to be talking about Avalon. So this is the one that came out with this season, Season of Defiance, and there definitely could be some recency bias. Maybe I'm just not burnt out on it yet. But I absolutely love how this mission is put together. I love the Vex network. It's, you know, very fun to traverse. The encounters are pretty fun, but I do think specifically the first encounter is going to have a little bit of trouble with some replayability. But the Avalon secret mission, you could easily like just give it an armor set and a couple of guns and call it a dungeon. I really don't think that would surprise anyone. I would say it's about the same length as Spire of the Watcher. It's about the same difficulty as Spire of the Watcher, especially if you're doing it on, you know, or legendary difficulties. It's tuned pretty insanely, actually. It can be, if you're going in legendary difficulty with 3 people, you're in for a bruising. It can be quite difficult. I love the lore of this mission coming full circle and kind of completing Asher Mir's story arc. Him finally getting revenge on Brachion. I know a lot of people are going to be like, reuse boss, blah. I thought it was excellently done, and if they have to reuse a boss model to wrap up a story and give us a secret mission, then so be it. I think it was done incredibly well. The Vexcalibur weapon is very cool, and how they tied in the lore of like the Lady in the Lake and the Sword in the Stone and all of that into this mission is just another like little cherry on top. All around, this mission is really cool. And one thing that I think it gets right more than any other of the secret missions on this list is the fact that every single week for the first 3 weeks, I guess, there were brand new secrets that you could unlock. And it really helped with the replayability of the mission. It got me excited to go in and see what was new. And all in all, I think the Avalon mission is just a lot of fun. In the runner-up spot, number 2, we have Serif Shield. I love Serif Shield. I think it was perfectly spaced out, perfectly paced, the exact perfect length. I love how it incorporated Deepstone Crypt mechanics, but then kind of expanded on them. So like you're using scanner to see which terminal to scan through different walls, but you have to remember them and what path to walk in the incinerator room, that sort of thing. Very, very cool. I like how you have to run it every single week to get a new catalyst. You know, that was really cool. I like how it plays in the story of Aramis and how the witness is kind of resurrecting her dead friends to taunt her and also fight us. Like, that's pretty messed up, but it makes for a great boss. You know, it was a lot of fun mixing, you know, the mechanics of the technocrat, whatever its name was, and the Deepstone Crypt mechanics all around. Pretty cool little adventure. The Revision Zero is all right. Not many people use it, but you know, it's a cool little gun. It's probably the weakest part, I think, of this mission, in my opinion. But the thing that I think Serif Shield, like what it will be remembered for, is the robot dog that you could unlock by getting all 40 or 50 of the floating yellow spheres, and then you could pet the robot dog, and it should be coming, you know, back to the game. They said it would be in the tower or whatever soon, so looking forward to that. Just a really awesome side Easter egg. You can tell Bungie put a lot of care into Serif Shield. There are certain little sections that are just so unique. The unique falling animation in the jump puzzle, the surrender your weapons part. It just feels like its own super unique mission, and it's kind of its own experience, I guess. And I love that about Serif Shield. So that's why it's my number 2. And then my number 1, probably not a surprise to anyone, is going to be the Whisper mission from the Warmind DLC. I don't consider myself an incredibly nostalgic person, but let me tell you, if anything in Destiny is going to get me nostalgic, it's the Whisper mission. Okay, this was huge for the channel. I was one of the first people that, you know, was able to get into it and was exploring it, and it did, you know, really good things for the channel. It was the first kind of super secret thing I was involved in with video games, and that's just a feeling like no other. And then the mission itself, paced super well. Very fun kind of traversal jump puzzles that, you know, if you run the mission 100 times, you can get really good at and learn how to skip and those sorts of things. And then you have like the green room where you can do the entire jump puzzle, or Bungie built in like a little skip that, you know, you don't find out about until your second, third, fourth time through. And so you can just skip the entire room. Little hidden tactics, advanced strategies like that are really cool. I had the Thrall Way, or like the Thrall Farm. So everyone was going here to complete their catalyst for the longest time. Just super useful. The soundtrack is amazing. The hidden quest for the Will of Thousands ship was fantastic and a really cool callback to the Vault of Glass, the extra portal in the original Vault of Glass, even in the in Destiny 1. The final boss room was very hectic, and it was taken versions of 3 bosses we had fought before, and the Whisper of the Worm itself, the final reward, just absolutely wreaked havoc on the game for like 3 years. Not many people use it now, but it did just get that airborne effectiveness buff, so who knows. But for a while it was just slaughtering the game, and I would be surprised if by the end of Destiny 2 Whisper of the Worm doesn't make its way back as a top option in some activities. So the Whisper mission is just perfect, and like I said, the last 5, 0 Hour Presage, Avalon, Serif Shield, and Whisper, I would consider them all like pretty much perfect. You know, there's little things they can change here and there, but if we get this quality secret quest until Destiny's gone, I will be nothing but happy and I'll have no complaints. So let me know your list down below. Hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you think that maybe I forgot something, so like I didn't include like Corridors of Time or Niobe Labs because they're puzzles. I kind of count those on a league of their own. Also, they didn't really drop exotics. Like, there are exotics sort of tied to them, especially Corridors of Time, but it was just different, right? So I didn't really count it. But if you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like rating and to share with your friends. Once again, leave your list down below. Make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.